In 2025, as the world grapples with shifting power dynamics, one question looms large. Who are the most dangerous and influential leaders shaping our future? Their decisions ripple across borders, economies, and lives, sparking debates about stability, freedom, and progress. With over 50 years of reporting from the front lines of global events, I'm here to unpack the 5 figures whose actions are defining this pivotal moment. For fact-checked, real-time global news, please subscribe to stay informed on what matters most. Let's begin with a name that echoes through diplomatic halls: Vladimir Putin, Russia's president since 2012. With earlier terms from 2000 to 2008, his influence remains formidable, rooted in a vision of Russian dominance that continues to unsettle the world. In 2025, Putin's grip tightens as Russia navigates economic sanctions and its ongoing conflict in Ukraine. The war, entering its 4th year, has claimed countless lives. Estimates suggest over 500,000 combined military and civilian casualties since 2022. Putin's strategy blends military aggression with energy leverage, as Russia's gas exports still hold sway over parts of Europe. Recent moves to deepen ties with China and North Korea have raised alarms, with NATO leaders warning of a growing authoritarian axis. The international reaction is stark. Sanctions pile up, but Putin's domestic control, bolstered by media censorship and opposition crackdowns, shows no cracks. Inside Russia, dissenters face prison or exile, with figures like Alexei Navalny's widow continuing his fight from abroad. Historically, Putin's KGB roots shaped his iron-fisted approach, from Chechnya in the 2000s to Syria's support in 2015. What does this mean for global stability? A polarized world where East-West tensions risk escalation and democracy feels the strain. Next, we turn to Xi Jinping, China's paramount leader since 2012. His vision of a Chinese century drives policies that blend economic might with assertive diplomacy. In 2025, Xi's focus is on Taiwan, where military drills near the strait have intensified, prompting US and Japanese naval responses. China's economy, despite a 4.7% growth rate last year, faces challenges from trade wars and tech restrictions, yet Xi's Belt and Road Initiative continues to expand influence in Africa and Southeast Asia. Domestically, the Communist Party's grip is unyielding. Surveillance tech monitors citizens, and Hong Kong's freedoms remain curtailed since the 2020 security law. The international community treads carefully. G7 nations criticize human rights abuses, but reliance on Chinese manufacturing mutes their voices. Xi's historical context? A consolidation of power unseen since Mao, with constitutional changes allowing indefinite rule. For democracy, Xi's model offers a stark alternative: centralized control over individual liberties. The political crisis here is subtle but profound. Can global trade coexist with ideological divides? Now, let's look at Kim Jong-un, North Korea's supreme leader since 2011. His regime's nuclear ambitions keep the world on edge. In 2025, Kim's arsenal boasts over 50 warheads, with missiles capable of reaching the US mainland. Recent tests, including a hypersonic missile in January, drew swift UN condemnation, yet sanctions have done little to slow Pyongyang's progress. Kim's domestic control is absolute, with state propaganda painting him as a deity. Famine risks loom. Reports indicate 40% of North Koreans face food insecurity, but military spending soars. Internationally, China and Russia's vetoes block tougher UN measures, while South Korea and Japan bolster defenses. Historically, Kim's family dynasty has thrived on isolation, from his grandfather's Korean War to his father's nuclear pursuits. The human impact is devastating. Defectors describe labor camps and starvation policies. For regional stability, Kim's provocations threaten a flashpoint, with fears of miscalculation in a tense Asia-Pacific. Shifting to the Middle East, we find Mohammed bin Salman, Saudi Arabia's crown prince and de facto ruler since 2017. His Vision 2030 reforms aim to diversify the oil-dependent economy, but his methods spark controversy. In 2025, Saudi Arabia's role in global energy remains critical, producing 11 million barrels daily. Yet bin Salman's foreign policy, especially Yemen's ongoing conflict, draws scrutiny. The war, started in 2015, has killed over 150,000, with millions displaced. Internationally, the US and Europe balance oil needs with human rights concerns, particularly after the 2018 Khashoggi murder. Domestically, Dissent is silenced. Activists face long sentences, and women's rights reforms, like driving, coexist with crackdowns. Historically, bin Salman's rapid rise sidelined rivals, consolidating power in a way that's reshaped the kingdom. For governance, his blend of modernization and autocracy raises questions. Can reform thrive without freedom? The region watches closely as Saudi-Iran tensions simmer. Finally, we turn to Elon Musk, not a political leader, but a figure whose influence in 2025 rivals heads of state. As CEO of Tesla, SpaceX, and X Corp, Musk shapes technology, policy, and public discourse. His push for deregulation under U.S. President Donald Trump's second term, starting January 2025, has sparked debates over corporate power. Musk's Starlink controls 60% of global satellite internet, critical for Ukraine's war effort and rural connectivity. Yet, his X platform faces criticism for amplifying divisive voices, with EU regulators probing misinformation policies. Globally, reactions are mixed. Tech innovators praise his vision, while critics warn of unchecked influence. Historically, Musk's journey from PayPal to Mars ambitions reads like science fiction, but his labor disputes and erratic posts have drawn lawsuits and protests. The human impact, jobs created, but also fears of AI-driven unemployment. For democracy, Musk's sway over information and policy tests accountability in a digital age. If these stories resonate, please like this video, share it with others, and subscribe for more trusted global coverage. Your thoughts matter. What do you think about these leaders' impact on our world? Let's reflect on the broader picture. These five, Putin, Xi, Kim, bin Salman, Musk, wield power that transcends borders, each in distinct ways. Putin's military gambits challenge global security. Xi's economic might reshapes trade and influence. Kim's nuclear brinkmanship keeps neighbors on edge. Bin Salman's reforms clash with authoritarian roots. Musk's tech empire blurs the line between innovation and control. Historically, such figures have defined eras. Think Churchill, Mao, or Rockefeller. Today, their actions test democracy's resilience. From suppressed voices in Russia to algorithmic biases in the West, the political crises they spark vary. In Russia, opposition leaders face exile or worse. Navalny's 2021 poisoning attempt lingers as a warning. China's Uyghur detentions, estimated at over 1 million, fuel international outcry, yet trade ties soften responses. North Korea's isolation defies sanctions, with 2025 seeing no progress on denuclearization. Saudi Arabia's Yemen war drags on, with UN talks stalled. Musk's influence, meanwhile, raises questions about unelected power. His advisory role in US policy, confirmed in January 2025, stirred congressional debates. What does this mean for the future? Democracy faces pressure. Authoritarian models gain appeal in some nations, with Freedom House reporting a 20-year decline in global democratic norms. Regional stability wavers. Ukraine's war costs $150 billion annually, while Asia-Pacific tensions risk escalation. Governance evolves. Musk's tech-driven policies could redefine regulation, but at what cost? The human toll is clear. Millions displaced, silenced, or struggling under these regimes or systems. Here is a question for you. Which of these leaders do you see as the greatest force, good or ill, in shaping 2025? Share your thoughts in the comments below, and let's keep this conversation grounded and respectful. As we close, the world in 2025 is a tapestry of power, ambition, and consequence. These five leaders, through war, policy, technology, or vision, hold millions in their sway, their choices will echo for generations, challenging us to stay informed, engaged, and vigilant. Thank you for joining me in this deep dive into a complex world. For more reliable daily news updates, like this video, subscribe, and comment your thoughts below. Until next time, stay curious and stay informed.